Welcome to this tutorial on Filament, our real-time MIDI orchestration engine. So I've got loaded up our string quintet that we've been using throughout this tutorial series with a basic 5-part voicing using the smart chord revoicer. Sounds great. We're going to be looking at the mixer today. The mixer works how you might expect it to, but there are a few quirks which make it particularly powerful for the way this plugin is set up. Now, first of all, you have all the classic things you might expect in a mixer. You have pan, you have volume control and metering. You also have effect slots, and these are plugins. They're not built into the plugin itself, they're your plugins. So you can load plugins using the browse like you would in your DAW. We also have the articulation map, which we've talked about, and we have per instrument delay. Well, what that means is if you've got a particularly slow legato library, you can use negative delay in order to bring it forward, or if you've got something else that you want to push back, you can use the delay setting there. We also have different outputs. This is a multi-output instrument, which means that you can mix it in your DAW. Now, there's two things in particular that are different to a usual mixer. One is this CC knob. This controls the MIDI input going into the instrument. Okay, and what it does is it scales the MIDI for that particular instrument. This is good for orchestral and powerful sample libraries because you'll get a more musical result by balancing the input MIDI than you will necessarily by balancing the output volume. And you can right click on here and change what you're controlling, including velocity. So you could decrease the velocity on a particular instrument across your orchestrations. Now, what else is cool about this is we can use macros to control either the volume faders or the CC modifiers. So I can attach a macro to my violin 1 and 2, and then another to my, let's attach it to my viola, cello, and bass. And I'm going to set all of the CCs to 11 rather than 1. And by default, these are set to CC 102 through to 109, but you can change them by right-clicking. You can also, and then you'll see as I move my faders 102 and 103, the macro position changes on those input faders. This is especially powerful when you get bigger systems going and you want to balance on the fly your brass with your woodwind, with your violin, with your lead instruments, and you can ride your macros in a musical way, which means that your sound is constantly evolving. You can do an entire orchestral mix in this one plugin, and I have done that on regular occasion for broadcast projects. And this is great, right? Because if we go back to this sound here, I can control how much my violin 1 and 2 shine through. And I'm actually going to set them as a melody rather than as a harmony. I'm going to have them octaves. And you can create really beautifully musical morphing of sound using that. That's everything to get you going in Filament. There are some more advanced features which we will do an advanced tutorial session, but even with all of those things that I've shown you, it is endless what you can do with this plugin, and I still haven't figured out all of the things. We've done a lot of orchestral based tutorials, but this works beautifully well with synths, with keyboards, with setting up cool multi-timbral patches. You can do whatever you like. So I hope you enjoy the plugin. We're really proud of it. And contact our support page on formulabsaudio.com if you have any questions. We're a small company, so we are always more than happy to help out. All right, see you at the next one.